This is the camp before Antietam, and I'm going to get the Whitworth and the James. So I've filled out First Corps. First Division, I want to be 1,300, and then after that, about 1,250. And I'm going to spend about 5 minutes showing you how I actually fill in my units. I did this off camera because these are all Harper's Ferries pretty much. And I'm going to put the CS Richmonds into one of these units. I'm just moving things around a little bit. I'm going to move around officers, but you can see how I think about this. I want the command line to be greater than the efficiency line, but not too much. And I also want to get as many majors in, lieutenant colonels, so that I can get some officers promotions for the next round of, building units. So that every unit that I create comes in with at least a star, and we're going to go to 24 units, from 20 to 24 units. So that's a lot of units that I'm going to have to create. That's a lot of officers I'm going to need. So I'm shifting around my units. I put them in place by efficiency. So, and then I give my best units my best weapons. So if I see Harper's Ferries, HFs, on a unit, that tells me that's my best unit. Like I have CS Richmonds. I have a unit with CS Richmonds. That's my best unit. I know that. I don't have to see the efficiency. That's the best unit. So the rifle that the unit has tells me how good that unit is. So here I'm building up my army, starting with First Corps was easy, and just not that fascinating. So yeah, politics to 8, so that's very good. So I have a pile of Enfields now that I've stored up. I still have $230,000 and I have 14,000 men. At the end of this video, after I get my infantry filled out, I want to pour as many troops into the army as I can. I want to pay attention to scaling at the end. I might have to dissolve some units that I create. That's fine. But then, very last thing I want to do is dissolve my 12-gun 3-star artillery unit and create about 4 or 5 3-star units. Going into this, I don't know how many I'll be able to create. As you saw, my First Corps was 1,300 within 1250s. This starts at 1250, goes to 1,200, and my units at the end will only be 1,000. So that's a method that I've always used. The units at the end will fight the least amount of time, so they won't have to take a lot of losses. The units that come in first will take the greatest number of losses. So I make them larger to compensate for the longer period of time they're going to have to fight. Second Corps comes in pretty, after First Corps has been on the field for a while. So they're not going to take anywhere near the losses of First Corps. So, yeah, because when you come out of this, you want everybody to be under 1,000 for scaling reasons for side battles. So, and also, your units don't have to be that big. In my mind, these units are more about maneuver. I just bought a bunch of weapons there, if you notice that. I know that I'm going to have to buy some Lorenzes and some Enfields, and that's fine. And I have the money to do it. So, yeah, I'm just making sure that all these units are completely topped up, the artillery. So, yeah, I'm going to buy Enfields and Lorenzes. I'm still going to go into battle with 42s in my worst units. But that's not that big a deal, because the guys who come in last will not be there very long. And they actually do very good. They do a very good job. So their job in Fourth Corps is to come in behind the enemy position and be a blocking force. Coverage of the battlefield. So yeah, this is a battle where you have a lot of time. So I let my infantry roll up, take good positions with good cover, and then let the artillery degrade the enemy army, the enemy morale, and then have more units than the enemy does, so you can get lots of flank shots on wherever the enemy is moving. Okay, units that have the have 10 on it are 10 parrots, and units that have 3 are the 10 ord. So, if that makes any sense. So in third corps, I do have units. I have some Napoleons because the AI has dropped Napoleons. I have some 12 howitzers. 12 howitzers don't get any kills, but they do a great job making enemy units rout. So the first division of third corps is going to do some fighting. First corps starts at 1200, and I'm going to have those guys, I forget what I have them drop down to. I've been very happy with the Mississippis in this game. So, free Napoleon, so I'll just buff that guy up. So I have some Tredegar's. Okay, here's how it works. I have my first battery of James. So the James does the best damage at mid-range. There are the guns, I've talked about this before, short range, mid-range, long range. So the 20-pound parrot does great damage at all range. Not quite as good at short range as smooth bores, but still very good. The James is a mid-range gun, but it's good at long range. It's okay at short range. It's good at all ranges, but it's where it really shines is mid-range. But it's also very, very effective. Not as effective as the 20-pound parrot or the 10-pound parrot, but it's effective at long range. The 10P is consistent at long range, not good at mid-range and short range. So, yeah, and you have to know how these units perform. The Whitworth is terrific. You just park it somewhere, and it does okay damage. It does the damage of the 10 parrot, but at incredibly long range. So I wish there was a command on it, fire only at artillery, and it would just kill like 2 artillery batteries. Every battery of yours would kill 2 artillery batteries every grand battle. And as the North, you can build about 3 of these batteries. So that's 6 enemy batteries would just be wiped out by your Whitworths in the course of any grand battle, pretty much. That's how I think about it. So, so I think those are your long-range guns. Your Tredegar's are a mid-range gun. Not great, but slightly better than the 10 Ord, and a slightly different firing arc, slightly longer firing arc, so that it's able to have a bigger area for exploding shells. So it's better. So then below that are the 10 Ord, which is only good at mid-range, kind of okay for canister, terrible at long range. So yeah, I'll use the Tredegar's at long range, even though they're not great. I'll happily use the James at long range. You're better off not even firing the 10 Ord at long range because it's just a waste of ammunition. They just don't do anything. So yeah, this 6 rifle is kind of like a baby James. It's shorter, fires fast, doesn't do quite the damage, but it's effective at all 3 ranges. So, but I like it. The 6 rifle, I particularly like it because it's very good at long range. So anything that falls within its firing arc basically can fire at and do a good job. And it fires fast, so bonus. So anyway, we want to get 4th Corps, really as many units as I can bring to the field, and get these majors promoted to lieutenant colonels if at all possible. I want to build as many colonels as possible. I can't put I don't think I can, well, I don't have that many lieutenant colonels, but I can't put, it's getting to the point in First Corps, even with putting nothing but raw recruits in First Corps, I can't, in many of my units, I can't put anything lower than a colonel because I need units with now a command line that is adequate, that is longer than the efficiency line in First Corps, and only colonels have that. So I tried to get as many majors and lieutenant colonels in First Corps as possible, but now I can't do that anymore, so I can't farm officers with the units that are going to go into side battles. So unless I start bringing units that, like take units that aren't quite as good, 1 or 2 units per side battle, and I might start doing that. Take 1 or 2 units into side battles, give them a lieutenant colonel, and create a colonel, so I could do that. So okay, now we're going to create a few units, and the question is, how many units can I create? And I'm down to 2,600 with the creation of this unit. And I'm running out of colonels. But I have enough. I have enough for, I'm down to 622 men. And I'm running out of officers too. And we have some infields, so let's go ahead and bump these guys up to 1250, because I have infields as well, and I have the men to do it. So I didn't intend to go this far, but yeah, okay, that'll work. 1250 it is. And this guy gets 22. Okay, so now we've emptied the manpower pool, buy all the weapons that we want, and yeah, that's it. I'm counting on the Union Army for 10-pounders over the course of time. He's now dropping 10-pounders. I should get a bunch of them. Yeah, maybe should have bought the Whitworth. Okay, now I'm going to create as many. Oh, one of the things I just did is I just moved, I just deleted that unit, and I'm about to notice it, and I'm going to reload. So yeah, save frequently, because you're not going to want to do that. Okay, I'm up to 65,000. I've driven enemy scaling up to 80,000. Okay, so I'm going to delete some units. I could come in with 80,000, but I don't need all the units in Fourth Corps that I have. So I reload, and I'm not going to lose the unit slot in First Division. So, okay, what happens? I delete a couple thousand. He's down to 77,000. Actually, every 1,000, we're at the point in scaling, I add 1 man, he adds more than 1. So, okay, 6-pounders, I don't need those guys. What happens? Yeah, okay. He keeps falling. So I'm going to bump these guys to 1,300. That's actually a good decision. Those guys are going to do a lot of fighting. I need a better general. I don't want to buy veterans, so I need a better general. I had a couple infantry lost a star. They'll get it back in combat. Okay, I'm checking my officers, make sure everybody is where they need to be. Bump him up to 1250. Do I have Enfields? Yeah. Yeah, I like how that looks. And that's what I'll do is I'll just incrementally bump up units depending on how many men I have. Being aware of scaling. $76,000. Okay, we drove them up a little bit. I'm pretty sure I get to bring in all 21 units for First Corps, even though it says 20. So, yeah, 76,000 versus my 61.8. That's really good. I could delete a few units, but I don't want to. I could drive him down to, I think, 73,000, 74. But I don't. Yeah, maybe one. Yeah. He's down to 75.5, and I'm down to 60,000. By the way, that's an easy victory. I'm looking at that and I'm going, this is an easy win. If he had 100,000, it would be still fairly easy. So, okay, I'm moving my artillery all on one line so I don't lose that unit slot. And now it's I'm going to delete a bunch of units. First thing I need to do is, before I delete units, is get rid of all the guys in inventory. So, yeah. This is just get rid of whatever's in inventory. So I have a bunch of farmers, so we're just going to use all of the farmers we have for free. Then 682 of something. What do I have 682 of? Anything, doesn't matter. Okay, so you have to first make sure the manpower pool is empty. So now we're going to delete some units. And what I'm going to come out of this with is 3-star units. And the 3-star units, I wanted to get rid of the 12-gun battery and create all 8-gun batteries. And all my guns are going to get the cover perk because, man, it just, Union Army, holy cow, man, just, yeah, as much cover as I can get. So, three long-range batteries for this battle. So what I did was I just checked how far I went with 3 stars, and I can delete 4 units. And I'll actually come out with 5 because there'll be 4 left over, and I'll just put veterans in there. And it's worth it to get another 3rd-star unit. So I will have 5 3-star units at the end of this. There's the James. So we have a 20-pound Parrot, then a James, then a Whitworth, and then a 10-pound Parrot. I guess 2 10-pound Parrots, I'm guessing. Yeah, everybody's 8 guns. And the game pretty much gives you, for reputation, 8 guns. And I'm going to keep everybody at 8 guns because shifting units, shifting equipment around has turned out to be very, very handy in these battles. Yeah, love the James, all-purpose gun, does everything well. Love the Whitworth, it does what it does well. Not great, but But, well, it's very dependable. And now I have a 4-gun battery that I need to create, but I might be able to merge them in with this one, but no. What I'm going to do is create a 10-pound parrot unit. Why does he only have 2 stars? Because I needed a little bit better commander. Long range perk. Yeah, these guys are fine. So, now I need raw recruits. Okay, I now have 4,000 raw recruits to do something with, and the first place they go is here. I just spent $20,000 to give him 7 guns. $20,000. And it was worth every penny. Every penny. Now, First Division, which is going to do most of the fighting, is going to have a 20-pound parrot, 3-star. Man, is he going to do a good job. James, 3-star. You're going to be amazed how good this unit's going to be. I had a 7-gun, just making sure these guys are full. I took a 7-gun, 24-pound howitzer to 8 guns. And I bought some veterans. So that was $20,000 I spent to turn a 4-gun battery into a 7-gun battery, but 3 stars. Worth every penny. Wait till you see how good these 3-star units are at Antietam. So then I have the Whitworth and a 24-pound howitzer. I should have a 24-pound howitzer in every division. 1 24-pound howitzer in every division, maybe. That's my goal. Just like I did in the Union campaign. Really make sure your unit's incredibly tough. So at 24, Tredegar, 10-pounder, Tredegar, 10-pounder, 10-pound parrot. And then we run out of Tredigars and we go to 10 Ords. And then here at the end, we have 6-pounders and a small battery of Napoleons. I could actually boost that Napoleon up for free, I think. Yep, there we go. That's the army I want to have. I'm delighted with my 5 3-star artillery units, and we are ready for Antietam.